So today I want to talk to you about something that's made a huge difference in my life and career. That's just taking action. Sounds simple, you hear it all the time, but this is true, and I'm going to give you real examples here. I've been successful in real estate, not just because I'm lucky, but because I'm prepared. I move quickly. I don't let fear or hesitation get in the way of making very important decisions because I'm prepared. I know a deal when I see one. Okay, so I want to share a story with you, a mistake that still haunts me today and echoes in my mind. In fact, as I'm speaking to you right now, I can hear a large excavator moving and grinding and banging away. It has a giant jackhammer on it, and it's busting up the slab of this house that sits up on a hill just behind me. Now, why does that matter? Because that house could have been mine. This is $1 million mistake I'm about to tell you about. So about 20 years ago, the man that owned that lot, my neighbor, told me he was going to sell it to me. He said I could have it. We had a good relationship. Anyways, he kept telling me he wasn't quite ready, but he was going to sell it to me. Well, I stayed in touch with him. I did all the due diligence, and I stayed very close. But he said he'd wait for me to buy it. Well, one day I finally found the time, and he found the time, and we talked, and I said, okay, come on by. Well, I was busy, and I was running full tilt, had all kinds of stuff going, kind of like I always do. I drove up the hill to knock on his door. I was about to knock on his door, and I looked down through the window, and I can see him, and the guy's sleeping. The guy's sleeping on his couch. His head's like 3 feet from me. I can see him laying on the couch. Anyways, so I start to knock, and I go, I'm not gonna wake him up. I said, I'll just come back in another hour or two. So the next day, I got slammed again, busy as shit, forgot to go back. And then the day after that, I finally got back up there again, and I knocked on the door. He came out, and I said, hey man, let's wrap this thing up. Let's get it done. And he looked at me and he said, it's too late. I already sold it. I'm like, what are you talking about? What do you mean you already sold it? I stood there in disbelief. And I said, look, we just talked. I said, I was here day before yesterday. You were sleeping on the couch. And that's when he said, and I'll never forget it, because this is what stings today, but it's a lesson for you. You know what he said? He said, you should have woke me up. That's what he said. He said, you should have woke me up. And he's right. I should have just woke him up. I lost the deal. He said he sold it to another guy. And I'm going, what happened? He goes, I'm sorry. Still aggravating to this day. Anyways, that moment brought back another painful lesson that I'd learned about 12 years before that. That same thing. I had a woman that was ready to sell me a beach house, a property on Ocean Drive in Channel Islands, California. She wanted $250,000 for it, and I didn't even know what it was. I didn't know what it was worth, but it was mine for $250,000. It took a little too much time getting back with her. Just like I don't know. She told me, Tom, I just got an offer for $420,000. She just got that offer, and it's because I wasted a day or two, and the property's worth $550,000. So that was a lesson that goes clear back into like 1989. Anyways, she told me then she'd take $50,000 down, $10,000 or 10% interest, and asked me to get back to her on Monday. I didn't make it on Monday. I had a long weekend. I got distracted with work, and I had employees. I had a lot of stuff going. And so Tuesday I get back with her, and it was too late. She told me, basically I lost the deal. But when I realized that I was late, I got a hold of her immediately. And the words that she said, okay, now these words echo in my mind what he said, right? He said, you should have woke me up, right? Well, this is what she told me. She said, when I called her, I said, okay, I'm on my way. I figured out that it was worth a lot more. I said, I'm on my way. I got the check in my hand. And she says, when I first called, she was just silent. And then she said, he who hesitates gets left at the starting gate. My heart just fell. Those words sunk my heart, and I immediately knew what it meant, that it was game over for me. I lost the deal. Moment of silence, and then she continued. She said, I just talked to a real estate agent, and he told me that if he could not sell that place for $420,000, that he would buy it himself. Now, of course he'd buy it himself. It was worth $550,000. But whether that was true or not doesn't matter. I lost that deal. Somebody got in, that time that I wasted, might have been an hour, might have been 10 minutes, might have been 24 hours, okay, because I was 24 hours late getting back with her. And it just reminds me, just like the house upon the hill, that I'm hearing the banging going away. They're banging away, tearing down the slab. They're gonna put it, this is a place I could have got for $110,000. And it just went up for sale for $1.3 million. I'm sure it sold for, probably 1.2. And first thing they're doing, they're tearing down the house. Beautiful lot. You can see all the way, to the main city. It's a gorgeous lot. Anyways, So I want you to learn from my mistakes. If you're prepared, if you really want to get ahead, you got to know what you're doing. It should feel like Christmas. But the only way you know that it feels like Christmas is by knowing value. So these two moments, separated by 20 years, taught me a very powerful truth that opportunities don't wait. You know, when you're prepared, when you know your values, when you know your comps and know your market, you don't hesitate. You move, because once the deal is gone, it's gone. And the pain of losing something you could have had is one of the best teachers that you could ever have. It'll stick with you forever. I mean, if you take what you do seriously, and I do, that pain will last a lifetime. Even, and it keeps you sharp. But it's funny, because here I am, even though that mistake 20 years ago, I'm reminded of it today because of the banging away. So, because look, once the deal's gone, it's gone. And the pain of losing is something that you could have had. Is one of the best teachers you'll ever have when it comes to investing. And that's the beauty of having a mentor, is you don't have to learn the lessons the hard way. You can just learn it from me and just take my word for it. I can explain and express the pain and tell you how I lost it so that you won't lose yours. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button.